Welcome to Lesson 8 of MySci Unit 22, Using Our Resources Wisely. In previous lessons, students considered how humans impact Earth systems. In Lesson 8, students will focus on the hydrosphere, answering the question, how is the water on Earth distributed? They figure out that most of the water on Earth is saltwater that is not readily available for drinking. As a result, freshwater resources should be protected. Students also figure out that salt water can be desalinated to create drinkable water. To begin the lesson, students will observe a model of the world's water distribution using graduated cylinders, an eyedropper, and food coloring. This model will begin during the Engage and continue during the Explore. In the Engage portion of this lesson, students will observe 100 milliliters of water in the graduated cylinder and predict how much of the water they think is fresh water. In the Explore portion of this lesson, students will observe as the teacher pipettes 2.5 milliliters of water from the 100 milliliter graduated cylinder into the 10 milliliter graduated cylinder. This model demonstrates that out of all the water on Earth, 2.5% is fresh water. The remainder is undrinkable. Next, students will analyze the total global water bar chart on the Global Water Facts Student Journal page. They will discuss how the bar chart relates to the model they observed. The 100 milliliter graduated cylinder represents 100% of water on Earth. The 2.5 milliliters removed from the graduated cylinder represents the fresh water, which equals 2.5% of the water on Earth. In the Explain portion of this lesson, students will analyze the freshwater bar chart on the Global Water Facts Student Journal page. They will develop and explain a model that demonstrates the information depicted in the bar chart. Students should discuss what equipment they will need for the model and how much water is needed to represent water in the form of glaciers and ice caps, groundwater and surface water, and other fresh water. Next, students will analyze similar bar charts from the USGS website. They will use the data to construct explanations about how surface water and other fresh water represents water that is readily available to drink. Most of this fresh water comes from rivers. However, this water is very limited. In the Elaborate portion of this lesson, students will develop a model of desalinization depicted in the pictures. This model works by causing water to evaporate and precipitate in a closed system using energy from the sun. The instructions to construct this model are found in the teacher pages. Using the model, students will explain that desalinization removes salt from water through the process of evaporation. This process can be used to produce drinkable water from seawater. In the Evaluate portion of this lesson, students will complete a formative assessment. They will construct explanations about how freshwater resources may become more limited in the future. As a result, it may be necessary for humans to desalinate water from ocean water for human use. Lastly, students will observe other ways to desalinate water outside of the model they observed in the Elaborate. By the end of this lesson, students will have represented the distribution of the salt and fresh water on Earth and explained why it is important to conserve and protect drinkable water resources.